Hello, you guys. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here because this information is so important, and we're going to dig into it and in just a minute. And so let me just give you a few ground rules, which is that please use the chat. Please tell me any questions you have, because I am here to answer your questions, and I am here to, that's the beauty of this. I'm going to go through all the content first, and you guys just put your questions over there, and Claire from my team is here, and she's going to keep track of them, and Juanita will be joining us, I'm sure, any minute, and so we'll keep track of your questions, but I want to make sure I answer them all at the end, okay? Because what I've certainly have learned about all this is that, yeah, we have to do it all a little, everything has to be a little different now, doesn't it? Everything has to be a little different. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so exciting. I love that. Wow, a wonderful ornament for women. Erica, what a fabulous name for your store. What a fabulous name. What a fabulous name. Hello there, Ginger. Hello there. Oh, you guys, this is so great. Okay, so let's dive in. Actually, let me just do one thing and introduce myself. So my name is Kathy Donovan Wagner. I'm the retail maven, and I got into this business because I spent into this business, retail consulting and coaching, and working with smart retailers like yourselves who know that they don't know everything, and that they know that they don't know what they don't know, right? And so that's why you're looking to improve. That's why, oh my gosh, that's why we love our tribe so much, because it's exactly how I was too, and when I started my store. And what I'll tell you is that I almost went bankrupt 3 times, and it was horrible. And I decided to learn to. I thought about leaving, but then decided to double down. I really wanted this to work. And so I doubled down to learn, to figure out what mistakes I had made. And so then as I learned, I was able to turn everything around and ended up opening more stores and had, it was just great. And then I found that I really loved sharing this knowledge with other people. And in fact, it's a client who named me Retail Maven. And a maven is actually someone who loves to gather knowledge and always be on the top of the cutting edge of things, but also is passionate about sharing it with others. And that's exactly what we do. I feel like I made all these mistakes so that you don't have to. That's how I felt about it, because I wish I had known better. And so that's how I started. That's how I started in this, and just got so passionate about, because I was really enjoying retail and so many people weren't. And there is a system, you guys. There is a code to crack, and it's what we've done. And so it's what we love to do. And now what we are so honored and blessed to do is that we have. We help retailers through online programs and products and webinars like this, and as well as one-on-one coaching and group coaching. We help them to get more profit, better cash flow, have more fun, and get better sleep. That's what we do. That's what our tagline is. Because what we know is that when we help you get better at what you do, that impacts it just changes. It has such a huge impact, right? Because then you're able to make more money. So then your family gets more money, and then your team gets more money, and then you're able to impact more people in your community. Oh my gosh, it's really fabulous how the whole cycle goes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me get started here. All right. So these days, of course, are not like any other, right? So I have this fabulous product a fabulous system called the Killer Clearance Sales. And as we started talking about it with our clients and with some of you, people were like, I don't even know how to have a clearance sale during COVID safely and successfully. I don't even know how to do it. And so we did a little poll and asked people what of these things they were most concerned about. And actually, I'd like to do another poll right now, because I want to make sure that I'm diving into it, because we've answered all of these questions, and I'm going to dig into all of them as we go through this webinar, this masterclass. But and I'm also bringing on a guest expert, one of my clients who just this morning I was talking to her, and she had fabulous success over the weekend. And so she's going to come on to share her experience. And so I want to take a poll though and see how it works. Which of these you're most concerned about? So you'll see the lovely little poll thing in front of you, and so just choose whichever one you're most concerned about. Which of all these is your biggest concern? Because yeah, we've seen it really kind of be across the board. The number of like the concerns that people have, right? There's so many ways that people are responding to COVID, and that's about how many different ways of what people are concerned about. And so that's why I want to make sure that we're diving into it, because, right, you know, it's like, how do you have a sale when you're used to that? You usually work like the killer clearance sale program system that we use is it gives you all the basics of how to do a sale well, but not in, but I mean, then those basics are still crucial, but there's things that have to be adjusted, right? Like everything. So, so yeah, so that's why I'd love to hear what you have to say, because I'm going to come back and share with you what the results were, and make sure that all these are answered. Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much, you guys. So these are the results. So, oh, it's actually kind of spread out. So I'm uncomfortable doing a sale because it will encourage a crowd in my store. Okay. Right. And so I'm specifically telling you how to deal with that. And then the client that's coming on later today, Cadence, is going to talk about that too. And then how cases in the rise are on the rise and traffic is down because of that. I'm specifically answering that question at the end too. Perfect. And then clearance sales never work for you. I totally get that. And I have to tell you that that's exactly what you need. You just flat out need the killer clearance sale system for it, because that is exactly what it does. I'll tell you a little bit more about it at the end. But honestly, any client will, in fact, I'd love to hear from clients that are watching. I'm like, Kim, I know you've done a killer clearance sale before. I'd love for you to give a shout out about how well it's worked for you, because I know, because it really does work. And then the whole thing about merchandise. Yep. Okay, great. So we're going to deal with all of this. I'm so excited. Okay, so let me close this up. And then the thing is that the other question that someone flat out said to me is, does having a clearance sale during COVID make any sense at all? Like, it just seems super crazy, and it seems like super bad timing ever. So like, why do I even care? And the reality is that you have to do it. And I'll explain to you why. We're going to talk a little bit about the circle of retail. And so look at this picture. So this might all look like merchandise, right? It's all merchandise, but the reality is that it's actually all dollar bills sitting all over your floor. Like, really, each one of these things represents dollar bills. Each one of these things does. And so what you have to make sure that you're doing is you've got to make sure that the reason why you have to do a clearance sale is that you need to do it for cash flow, because you want to take those dollars off of your floors and put them and put them into your hands, because you're putting the merchandise into that customer's bag, right? I know I said that kind of awkward, but what I mean is that the customer in this picture, she's leaving with these bags full of inventory that she has then given you dollars for. So that's part of the cash flow part of it. And then also for freshness, because you've got to bring in some new merchandise. You've got to bring in some new and exciting items, you see? And so, because the point is that, right, so she's walking out with those bags of merchandise. So then you get this cash in your hands that you get to choose how to spend. And some of it is going to be on new exciting merchandise that you're going to bring in, right? That's the reason why we have to do it. So those are the two reasons. It's for cash flow as well as for freshness, bringing new inventory in. You see, it's this circle of retail where first you have your inventory on your floor, and then the customer buys it, and then you get cash, and then you buy new inventory and you pay other bills, and then you bring new inventory on the floor, and then the customer buys that, and then you get cash, and then you buy new inventory. It's what we call this circle of retail. So just like a car, it goes round and round and round. It just goes round and round and round. But if you stop any of that, what it's like getting a flat tire. Okay, come on, be honest with me. Who here has had a flat tire? Just say me, type me, right? Type me in chat, because I know that you guys have had flat tires, right? And look at how many of you have, right? I know, it's because it's just not any fun. Not any fun at all. Oh, so many times, Juanita says, my goodness. The horrible thing about it is, now think about what happens when you have I really want you to physically think about what happens when you have a flat tire. Is that, so the tire pops and it's like, bam, like there's this big, huge noise, and your stop COVID feels like a flat tire. Yes, right. I'm going to talk about that too in a second. So the thing I can tell you is that I so wish that you appreciated, that you understand the way all of our clients do now, because people don't at first, and I didn't at first. It was one of the big mistakes I made. I didn't recognize that if I stop this circle of retail anywhere, that if it gets stopped anywhere, it's exactly like getting a flat tire. It's just like getting a flat tire. And the problem with the flat tire is that you can drive for a little bit on it, but it causes damage to things, right? It causes damage to the wheel out here, which I know isn't called a wheel, but I don't know what the heck the name is for it, but you guys know. Or I don't know. Anyway, my point is that rim. Thank you very much, Susan Foster. I really appreciate that. And so you can drive for a little bit, but you're limping along. You're limping along. You're not being successful in getting where you want to go. You're certainly not getting anywhere fast, right? So that's the reason why we've got to keep this circle of retail going, of going and going. So that it's so critical for the success of your store, because I get that COVID feels like a flat tire. I get how hard it's been, but you guys, we're in this for the long haul. We are in this for a long haul. And so yes, do a clearance sale because you've got to move some dogs. What's not selling? I know that many of you, I'm thinking of you, Heather, and I'm thinking of you, Kathy Antonio, and I'm thinking of you, Susan Foskin. You guys know what this refers to. Why is that dog wearing a party hat? And why is there a little 1-year birthday candle on that little cupcake there? What is this talking about? What kind of dogs are we talking about here? What is a retail maven law? Right? What's our retail maven law? Exactly. Oh my gosh, you guys, this just warms my heart. No birthdays. No birthdays. No birthdays. No birthdays. You really shouldn't have any items in your store that's been there for a year. No birthday in the shop. Way to go, Sue. Sue's store is the yarn maven. I love that. Exactly right. That's exactly what it is. You've got to move those dogs out. And the other critical reason why you have to have a sale right now at this particular time is that we know your traffic is down everywhere, right? Traffic is down, your traffic count is down. You're not getting as many customers in your store as you did before. So we need to create focus and urgency to get your pinkies, your sale customers, to come in and buy now. That's what we have to do. We have to get them to come in and buy now. Because what I know for sure, it's something I teach about in the Killer Clearance Sale Secrets, is that based on consumer psychology, so this is just a scientific fact, there are times that pinkies love to shop, and one of them is right now. I mean, they'll always shop, right? But the time that they expect a sale and they really want to shop is right now. And so I want you to maximize this. And so that's why you need to create focus and urgencies so your pinkies come in now and buy now. And I'm going to show you how to do it safely. You see, so SACS. So in our world, so in Retail Maven's world, what that means is a semi-annual clearance sale. And it's going to be a bit different this year. But I want you to know, okay, so seriously, like put both feet on the ground, take a deep breath. What might look like an obstacle is really an opportunity in disguise. And I know that you see that. We have an opportunity here to make this new and different SACS better than ever before. We haven't, that's what I'm going to show you how to do. That's exactly what I'm going to show how to do. Yes, Kathy Antonio says, Christmas shopping has begun, for sure. Yeah, Marnita is amazing at that. You guys, well, and also, I want to know how many of you knew what SACS stood for, because for sure, SACS is something that was our own private lingo, and that's something I realized when I had to add to my notes that, oh yeah, we have to make sure that we chat about exactly what that is. So I want you to see, though, how this is an obstacle, but it's really an opportunity in disguise. And I've had a couple of clients treat it a little differently. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute. Let me just make that note so I don't forget. When I introduce you to it. There you go. All right, so let's dig in, okay? So there's 4 areas that we're going to talk about today. Number 1, we're going to talk about how you have to mark down differently. Like, still the same as in the killer clearance sale, but they're but a little differently, you'll see. And you have to merchandise differently, for sure. You have to merchandise differently for this sale than you have in the past. A tweak. It's like everything in the killer clearance sale secrets, all of that is still true, but there's things we're tweaking. You have to market differently. We're tweaking that too. And I'm going to give you some examples about that and everything. And you have to motivate intentionally. We're going to talk about you and your team and how to stay on top of it all. Okay. So let's talk about specific SACS ideas for right now. So let's talk about how you have to mark down differently. First of all, many of you have less to mark down. And part of it is that I want you to change the timing of what you're marking down. Because so like for a clothing store, for example, this is really critical for you or for any of you that carry clothing and accessories. So what we know for sure is that people are buying differently now. What we know for sure is it's much more of a buy now, wear now type of mentality about everything. And so you don't have to mark things down as early as you did before. So that's what I mean about less to mark down. Like I'm telling my clothing stores, our clients that are clothing stores, like I'm telling them for sure. So I get how it's, how late it is in the year, in the summer, right? But I'm saying don't mark any sleeveless things down yet, because sleeveless does not need to be marked down. I mean, unless it's dog ugly and hasn't sold, and you know that, and you've already graded your inventory and you put it in that category. But for most of you, you shouldn't be marking those things down. And so because we can stretch things out a little longer. For maker stores, I'm thinking specifically so yarn weight is something that is sometimes related, sometimes sold based on the time of year. And so the lighter weight yarns, don't bother. You don't need to mark down as much fingering and lace right now yet. Like it'll happen later in the sale. As you go through the steps of the sale, it'll happen. But whereas now we would tell you to just mark down all this merchandise that you got that was 90 days old, like we would tell you to mark that down right now. Don't yet. Spread it out a little bit more, because people they're buying now and wearing now. I've told all of our clothing stores not to even get any fall merchandise in until September 15th. Because I believe strongly that we can sell summer until then. And luckily here in the United States, Labor Day is really late this year. It's September 7th. And so that's going to really work in our favor too. So that's one reason why there's less to mark down right now, right today. The other thing is not to mark down your NOO items, which is another acronym. We kind of love acronyms at Retail Mavens. And what that stands for is it's your never out of items. Those items that you never want to be out of. And so it's your best selling items that sell all year round, no matter what. And maybe you just have a few too many now, but you only have a few too many because you didn't have all the sales you thought you would for the last couple months. So it's not really that you're over inventoried in those never out of items. You're actually undersold, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't want you to mark down any of your never out of items. All right. So that's about marking down differently. So if you have anything specific questions, go ahead and put it in chat because I'll get to it. Or remember to ask me at the if you can ask at the end. All right, now let's talk about merchandising. So you've got to merchandise differently this time. All right, what we're encouraging people to do is to leave some of your good merchandise. So you're marking down a little less, so you'll have more inventory that can be good merchandise that we'd say that can be worn right now. And what we're telling you is to keep some of that in the front of the store. So one of the things we teach in the Killer Clearance Sale Secrets is that you should make the whole front of your store all sale merchandise. Like it should look all like that, but not now. You should have a very clearly marked sale section, which let me tell you is the number one mistake that retailers make that don't have the Killer Clearance Sale Secrets. The number one mistake they make is that they do not sign their merchandise well enough. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't indicate where their sale merchandise is. And this is why, because in your head, you've been seeing all this stuff all the time. So in your head, you know that, oh yeah, this is the old stuff. And see, I have that sign right back there on the counter, that one piece of paper that's like right here on the counter. Like that says that it's on sale. You guys, it has to scream sale. It has to scream sale. And then over here, you have this beautiful, this like if you're a clothing store, over here is where you have your tanks or your, your super summery stuff. So your kimonos, if you're, if you're a gift store and you're carrying kimonos, so it's accessories or whatever. But that sale section has to scream sale louder than ever before, louder than ever before. And then you also have this nice section, this good section, so that people know when they come in, like, so that they'll honestly kind of self-select, right? And so they'll know where to go for the sale stuff, and that they'll go for the others. Let me give you just a couple of other suggestions about how we do it. And actually, I'd love to hear you guys share how you've indicated your sales sections before. Is there something specifically that's worked for you? In the Killer Clearance Sale secrets, we share like specific, like I actually give you templates of sale signs to use and tell you what color paper to print them on, and I do all that because there is a science to all of it. There is, and the science is what makes you get the most money and you move out the most product for sure every time. But one other really cute idea that somebody did is that they went to the party store and they bought balloons, but balloons that were on sticks so that they didn't have to have helium. But adding helium, having helium balloons all around is a great way of doing it. Oh yeah, for sure, Andrea, right? Giant banner on your outdoor window, that really works. Different shapes of signs, Lori, that works fabulous too. Yep, for sure. The other thing that works great is on shelves. So let's imagine you have a shelving unit with items on it. So you can take painter's tape, and you can actually put painter's tape on each line where the shelf is, and you can just write sale on it in marker, and then of course it comes right off. But that's how it, like, you have to keep marking. So because you might think you have to mark it until it screams at you that everything's on sale, and then you probably still have to mark it more because people just don't see it the way you do, for sure. For sure. Spread sale outside. So to your point, Mark, that's an excellent point, right? Having an outdoor tent. Yep, that actually works. I'm going to share that. That's part of what the story I'm going to share with you later. But just like this little image here behind here, yeah, spreading the sale outside is a perfect thing to do, especially now because people are more comfortable being outside, and so yeah, it means you have to increase your payroll a little bit because you have to have someone out there, but they can take turns. But it's for sure a great way to start off any new sale or any new markdown that you do. So spreading the sale outside works really well. All right, so then the one other thing is having clear markings outside. You know what I'm saying about the clear markings of being 6 feet apart, right? So you have to have those clear markings outside, but then make sure that you're merchandising them. Make sure you're merchandising them. Actually, outside as well as inside too. So going up to the counter, because you will have a line at the counter, which people are used to that now. They know that that's what happens. The same thing, merchandise those counters. So like this in outside here. So like you can see here how these racks are here. So spread the racks apart. Ask your neighbor if they wouldn't mind if you shared a little bit of space with them, or on the other side, spread it out so that people can shop while they're waiting. So they can, if you think about it, all the big box stores, like TJ Maxx and I don't know, what's another big store like that? TJ Maxx and who else? You know what I'm talking about, like home. There's that home accessory store. His name is escaping me right now. Home Goods, like those kind of stores. Think about how even like I was at Barnes & Noble the other day and they had it too. They had actually, we have Macy's or Ross. Like Ross is certainly like that. Oh my gosh. And right, Old Navy is always a disaster. But I can tell you that it's fine. It's perfect. Because they know their customers. There is a science to this too. The fact is that Pinky's sale customers love to hunt. They love things to be ugly. I can't stand things to be ugly. And this is the reason why I always took off when we were on, I always took my vacation time around when we'd be super on sale, because it pained me to see the store like that. But you've got to embrace it, knowing that you are giving this sale customer exactly what they want. So line up the tables and rounders to designate the lines, and just leave it ugly because, like I said, they love to hunt. So let them spend time hunting for this stuff. And the other thing about inside, so sometimes it can be difficult to move sale items, like, like jewelry, like smaller sale items, like jewelry or cards or those kind of things. So this is perfect. While the people are hostage and in line to check out, make sure that you're putting those things on these tables. Do not worry how ugly they are. Just put them on the tables, put them in baskets and just put them on the tables. And the same thing with your front counter. Your front counter must be completely transformed to be all sale items and spread them out so that people can shop without being too close to each other. Just spread it out and just keep adding to it all the time. Just keep adding to them all the time. All right. So these are part of what you have to do differently to make sure that you are using the consumer psychology that we know works. That's what all of the killer clearance sale secrets is based on, is consumer psychology. But now we're twisting it to make it, not twisting it, that sounded bad. But what I mean to say is we're just tweaking it. That's exactly what we're doing. We're tweaking it. That's what we're doing. Good, thank you very much. I didn't even appreciate how my outfits matches my slides. I obviously like blue and green. All right, thank you very much. So you guys, and Kevin Campbell, right, I'm gonna talk about that too, because you have to, we have the limits on how many people can be inside the store. So I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. All right, marketing differently. So how you have to market differently is that customer reach out is essential. I can't tell you how important it is that you identify who your VIP pinkies are, your VIP sale customers. And you can do that at every point of sale, most every point of sale that I know of, will allow you to run a report that will identify your top customers, right? But so I want to know, just yes or no, have you ever run that report for top customers, but run it for negative to find out which customer is spends the most with the worst margin? Do you know what I mean? Like, which customer buys the most on sale? Have you ever run that report before? I'm dying to know if anyone else has, because it's, oh great, Kim, yeah, I'm awesome. I'm glad. I know which ones do. Good. And for sure, but gosh, Susan, to your point, for sure, I get that you guys know, you're smart retailers. I know that you know your sale customers, but I am telling you that there are people who will surprise you. So run that report and identify who your VIPs are. And what I would tell you to offer them, so pick a couple of those people and offer to do a pre-sale for them. So meaning that the day before the sale starts to the public, call them up and ask them if they'd like to come in. Again, in limited quantities. So was it you, Kathy Campbell, that was saying about the size? Yeah, Kathy Campbell was saying about the size of her store and stuff. So you could do a VIP pinky sale, pre-sale, and kind of a pre-sale, or honestly also even just special appointment times for pinkies. And do it ahead of time. Reward them. You guys, these are people who buy on sale all the time. They are not used to being treated like royalty. And the reality is that these are your queens and kings of markdowns. And we're so glad, because they help increase our cash flow. And that helps keep our merchandise turning. It keeps all of our inventory fresh. So really, they deserve to be treated royally a couple times a year. So offer this to them. And so what the question I'll get that one of you will ask, or is thinking in your head, yeah, you don't understand my people. They'll get mad if they find out that Susie and Caitlin and Jennifer got to go in and do it and they didn't get to do it. I will tell you this, and you have to trust me, because I've been doing this for a gazillion years, for decades and decades and decades. And so I've had clients do this, and honestly, it always works. And like you, I was nervous about it at first, but it really always works. So if that person complains about how, so I found out that Susie got to come in for the pre-sale, how come I wasn't invited? Oh my gosh, Jess. Yes, I know. Yes, she did, because she's one of our top sale customers. Like we keep track of all that stuff. And so that's why we wanted to honor her we wanted to do something special for her. Hey, but listen, I'll tell you how to join the time, and I'll be happy to add you to our list now that I know that you really want to be included in that too. We had a limited number of spots to open it to. And so that's why we just looked at our list and saw who bought the most. But now that I know that you want to, I'll be happy to include you next time. Works like a charm. And so then you start your your list of sale customers. It's really, really important. Yeah, so Susan, you should start a VIP Pinkies group. You really should. You really should. It's incredible how powerful it is. And little side note, so it's one of the things we talk about in the in the Killer Clearance Sale Secrets is about tracking these customers and asking people to, I go into detail about how to collect that information, but the point of it is that then, honestly, you can also use it. Like I would use this in my own store. Like if I had a really slow week or two, kind of like if weather was totally crappy and I didn't have any sales and I had a big bill coming due or something and I needed a little help, I would just reach out to those customers and I would mark a couple things down or do some sort of special flash sale for them for the weekend. And I would call them, I would do a flash sale for the weekend, but I would specifically call them to tell them about it first so that they could come in. Because yeah, I'm happy to reward them if they're going to help me out. I'm helping them out, right? You guys, the loyalty you get from these people when you treat them like royalty is just incredible. It really works every time. Alrighty, so the other thing you can do is increase store hours specifically for the sale, because I know that many of you aren't back to your regular store hours because you've been open different time, or some of you have been open since April, some since March, some since May. Some of you haven't closed, and so anyway, but increasing store hours is another super powerful way to create focus and urgency, and to either be open early or to be open late. That's really fabulous. That's really great. And also include more pictures of what's on sale. Include more pictures than ever, and include them everywhere in your email and social media and all that stuff. I'm going to show you a sample in a second, but that is make people want to see pictures of what you have. People will scroll. It's online shopping. People will scroll through those pictures and even comment sometimes that they want it. And so that's great, right? So allow them to do that. Allow them to do it. And then just say, and then you can say that, listen, some of the merchandise might be gone, so call the store, but include pictures so that they can see, because that's what will entice them to come in. Just saying you have a sale, that doesn't matter anymore, but it's showing them what they see. And the other really powerful thing is to use was-is pricing. It's always so powerful to say, was this amount, is this amount, and to use that in the pictures that you do. Does that make sense to you guys? Has anyone ever tried using was-is pricing before? I find that was-is pricing is really powerful, like in pictures on social media, but also even like in the front window. Like we talk about, like in the Killer Clearance Sale Secrets, we talk about how to merchandise the front window, and that's a really powerful way, is to have somebody all dressed up and a mannequin or whatever, however you display your merchandise, and put in it what the was price is and what the is price is. Oh, and I love Andrea's idea, adding save, right? Was, is, save. I love that. Yep, exactly. Oh my gosh, Kim shared that she had wallets at 50% off. She's changed to was, is, and they started selling right away. I tell you, it's all about doing things a little differently, right? That's such a great example, Kim, and I'm proud of you for not giving up. The other thing is using Facebook ads and using your lookalike audiences. And I'm not going to get into how to do that here, but the thing about it that you have to remember is that in the olden days, I would also recommend that people would actually advertise their sale in newspapers, because newspapers hasn't been a good place to advertise for a long time. Although honestly, if you're in a small community where it's not that expensive, it actually is still really good. But the thing is that I can tell you that what I have learned is that sales, there's pinkies all over the place. And so pinkies are attracted. They care about a sale. And so we tell you about the words and everything to use in the Killer Clearance Sale Secrets. But for sure, know that Facebook ads is a great thing to do, and using your lookalike audience, sending your information about what's on sale with tons of pictures, because the people won't know. It's kind of like they're a cold audience. They're not people who necessarily know you, but lookalike means that they're similar to your email list, and so that include bunches of pictures, and it's a great way to get new pinky customers, because yeah, we need those too, for sure. So let me show you like a right way to do a Facebook sale post. So look at how they say, I love, first of all, this hashtag better hurry. That cracks me up. And then look at these pictures, and then there's +7 more. There's more there. And then they did include was-is pricing in this. And so they did a great job. They did a great job with this ad. So yeah, so just seeing this +7, people just want to see more that's on sale. They just want to see more and more pictures. I can't tell you how important that is. Even in your emails, email marketing is still flat out you get the best return on investment from email marketing than you do actually any other marketing that you can do. We tend to overlook it because it's kind of boring now, right? But email marketing works great. But include 9 pictures. Like the email that they sent out had this many pictures also in their email. Who cares how long the email is? Include tons of pictures. You can even include a little word underneath about why you like it or why you bought it in the first place, because you loved it at first, right? For some reason. So that's the reason. So this is a great example of a sale post, and make sure that you're doing the same thing in your emails. All right. So the other thing that we have to do about marketing differently is Facebook Lives. One of the, how we said in the beginning that every obstacle is really an opportunity in disguise. And so what I learned, so certainly this is something that many of our clients have just jumped on. Really, I would say practically all of our clients have jumped on and taken advantage of is doing Facebook Lives. And during a sale, during a semi-annual clearance sale, it's awesome. They're so powerful. And let me share with you how to maximize your Facebook Lives. So the first thing is to do a video tour of the sale area and do it early in the day. Try and do it it's even better if you could do it the night before, because what you'll see is that, walk through the area, do a section of it. I would recommend doing a section of it, and you could even continue adding sections to it. But to pick a section and pick an item up and talk about why you love this Jalisca glass. And, can you tell how it's all hand done? And gosh, I wish you could feel how it feels in my hand. And yet, can I tell you that I've dropped this on the ground and it has not broken? And I mean, many times. This Jalisca glass is just wonderful. And we've got them on sale for you too. We've got on sale. So buy 2, get the 3rd free, whatever, right? So this is a great item. So just let me know below if you'd like it, and I'd be happy to hold it aside for you. So do you see how that works? You're talking about what it is you like about it. You're talking about how it's on sale. Doing the was is say would be great if I had those prices on it. That'd be a fabulous thing to share. But it just highlights and features this to somebody, right? One of the clients I was speaking to this morning talked about these, she called them crazy fabulous mugs that she bought that she just loved in her yarn store. And but they had never sold. And so she had put them out for her sale, and she did a Facebook Live about it. And she said that she had 6 of them. I believe she had not sold 1. And do you know that a customer came in and bought all 6 just from the Facebook Live? And those of you who have done Facebook Lives have experienced that, right? I mean, that's exactly what happens. It's crazy how powerful it is to be able to move things like that because the right person sees it, right? So that's a really fabulous thing. So doing it early in the morning or the night before then allows you. So then whoever said that, Jessica, who said that she loved these, I can then look the next morning, or I can have a team member go in early to check on Facebook to see who responded they wanted it, and I can hold it for them. And what I will tell you is that my fear of doing that was that people would say that they want it, but then not come in and pick it up, right? Life gets busy. I mean, I think I'd probably forget it, if I didn't do it. But I will tell you that clients tell us all the time that rarely, if ever, happens. I mean, I had a client that did $15,000 in business from a Facebook Live, and she had 2 people that didn't come in to pick it up. Crazy. And they do it all manually. Comments sold, like that Susan's mentioning, is a great product. They take a percentage of your sales, and so I don't really recommend it. At least for sure when you're starting out. I mean, when you get bigger, it can be great. But I mean, and although I'm all about automating, I do just kind of hate giving away a percentage of the sales. But certainly when you're doing $15,000 in a Facebook Live, that kind of thing, it can help. So. All right, video tour of the sale area. For sure, what I want you to do is I want you to do underperforming classes. So our clients get sales goals every week for the different classes of inventory that they have. They get every month, excuse me. So for example, like tabletop, which is what these would be, the Jalisca glasses, they would know how much business they were supposed to do in the whole month based on what their inventory level is. Because we also do open to buy for our clients. So you could also get, so if that's something you're interested in, boy, we'd love to talk to you about that because that's almost so important. And so they know that if they're not on track to make their tabletop goal or glassware goal for the month, that then that's something that they have to figure out something to do to highlight it. And so for sure, even if you have done a video tour of an area that had all this stuff in it, do it again, because people will see it in a different way. They'll see it differently. Someone different will see it, you know, whatever. So make sure that you're doing Facebook Lives of underperforming classes. And also daily videos are good. So let me tell you about that. So the thing about daily videos is when you do a video tour of the sale area, is doing it of different sections of merchandise, like of the store. So like you would do this section first, and then maybe you do this section, and then you do this section. And so as you're ending the one video saying, okay, thanks very much, stop it, you know, join us tomorrow as I show this whole area, and then just take your phone and go over the whole area that you're going to show them next, right? You're just interacting. A great thing to think about lives is just to think about how, you know, you're just talking to one person, and just imagine you're just talking to your best friend. One of my favorite ideas was something that one of our clients said, that what she does is that, well, we did this training over COVID about how to show up really powerfully online. And what Ruth Sherman taught us was about looking into that camera and looking into the camera, not looking at where your picture of yourself is, but looking at the camera so that people can see you, because that they immediately get so much more of a connection than they did otherwise. And so, but sometimes it can be hard to remember to look up there. And so what she said, Megan Boson said that what she did is she took a little Post-it note and she put a little happy face up there. And so that's how she remembered to look at that little smiling face. And so do it, try that. That's a fabulous thing, to make sure that you're looking at the camera, and know that everybody gets nervous. I get nervous before Facebook Lives. I honestly, it's not as though I just pick up the phone and say, oh yeah, Facebook Live right now. Okay, let's go. Bam, smile, talk. No, I get nervous too. Everybody does. But you just have to keep doing them. And so because you're doing them and because you're putting yourself out there, let's make sure you maximize them. So for major lives, like when there's major markdowns or whatever, make sure that you post before in your emails as well on social media and after, to get the most reach. So tell people that you're going to be live. And then afterwards, tell them when you were live and to go check it out. Because don't you love doing something once and using it many times after? Right? That's the point of it. So here's another client who did it. So this is what she put on actually she did this I shared this because this was actually on her Instagram stories page. And so, but she has a swipe up. And so then that led automatic. So in a swipe up in Instagram is when you have over 10,000 followers, and you can then put a link there. And so the link then took them right to the Facebook page. And we found that even for clients, so she had a major presence on Instagram and not so major on Facebook, but I kept telling her about how Facebook Lives were so powerful, and she tried a couple Instagram Lives and it just doesn't work the same. And so she's moved over to Facebook. So now she just does both on Facebook and Instagram, and it's been really powerful. So here's an example of the Facebook post. So they called it Happy Wind Down Wednesday, and who joined us for our Facebook Live this week, head over to watch us again, right? So that's fabulous. You've already done all this work. Don't just race by it. Make sure that you're talking about it before as well as after. Alrighty, so now let's talk about motivation and about how you have to be intentional about motivation. So what I really encourage you to do is talk to your team. You cannot over communicate. Your team will set the tone for you. For all of this, your team will set the tone. And it's got to be positive. You've got to talk to them about how this is a party. Your sale is a big party, and you're the host of your party. You get to do the party how you want to. You are the host. And so I really encourage you to have a team meeting. Use the agenda we've included in the Killer Clearance Sales Secrets, and make sure that you're talking to everybody. And add this one question, which is, how do you feel about it? Get some of that stuff out so people can talk about it. and talk about how to make them feel safe. I know you did some of this when you opened, right? But it's really important to make sure that everybody's on the same page. It makes all the difference in the world. It makes all the difference in the world. Share with them some of this of what I've shared with you here about the important, why you're doing a sale. You know, why you want to move some stuff out. And expect to adjust. Expect to adjust. You've gotten so good at pivoting, right? And but it's like what Kim Major said from Fabulous Female Boutique. You know, she shared how she had to put these wallets on sale 50% off, and you guys, she didn't give up. They didn't sell, so she adjusted. She tried something else. Same for you. Same for you. Just keep adjusting. Just, this is the secret, is keep asking yourself, what else is possible? What else is possible? How else can I move these wallets? How else can I move this stuff? How else, you know, what else can I talk about on my Facebook Live? You know, what else? Just keep asking yourself what else is possible. That's really one of the true secrets to being motivated for yourself and keeping your team motivated. And be intentional about this motivation. All right. So now you know why to have a killer clearance sale: for cash flow and to keep freshness, to get fresh inventory in, to keep that circle of retail moving so that you're not getting any flat tires. And then we talked about how to have the clearance sale during COVID successfully and safely. We talked about the tweaks that you have to do for it. But do you know the killer clearance sale secrets? Because this system is what makes the sale a killer clearance. And you need a plan of action for it, and it's go time. And I just want to share with you some information about how well this works. It moves more product off your shelves and puts more cash in your pocket. This is literally your plan of action. And we've also completely updated it. So it's all new. And if you already own one, as a matter of fact, we sent out emails because you got a free copy of the new one. I'll upload all with it. And actually, we're going to be including this webinar then with the copies of it, so that people get can get all the information that we shared, the additional information that we shared. We shared information in there about COVID, but then we've also updated it. And it's $249. And what I'll tell you is that you make that money back on your first sale. And the beauty of it is that you buy it once and you keep using it forever. And what it helps you do is that it literally helps you get a line of socially distanced customers at the front door. Really, it does, you know? And you get to then move out that inventory and turn it into cash. And then you know exactly how to repeat the success over and over again. And we also get into the details about how do you specifically merchandise some of those dog ugly mistakes you've made. You know what I'm saying. I laugh at how I can still remember. I can't remember the things that blew out, but I can still remember the mistakes I made for my store. And then I give you all the tools you need to help to get your staff to work together as a well-oiled machine, reaching that sales goal. I really help you be a better leader for your team. And I give you what the agenda should be for the meeting that you should have with them. And you get all of this and so much more for just $249. There's the components of it. There's the success plan, which is really a step-by-step guide. It takes you through. It's like having me as your personal coach. And I really share with you these proven strategies that we've been doing literally for decades. Like, we've sold, I actually should look up how many we've sold. I don't even know, but so many of them. And then in addition to it, I give you checklists on, like, the supply checklist of what you need beforehand. I give you a checklist of what to ask your team afterwards, like a reality recap agenda for your afterwards meeting. So what should you tweak for next time? And I give you all the markdown sheets you need. I give you templates of sale signs also, and show you how to do a bonus if you wanted to do a bonus with your team, how to break that down perfectly. There's so much. It's really truly everything you need to make the most money as you move that most inventory off your shelves. So $249. But because you guys are here, what I'm doing is you can save $50 and it's only $199. Just go to that website, killerclearancesale.com, and you'll get all the information you need. And what it will do, what it does for you is it takes you from being that person. Do you remember that picture of all that inventory? And that was in the beginning. And then that happy person holding cash. that I had at the end, it's like the bridge to get you from here to here. It turns that inventory into cash because there's so much science of retail and consumer psychology that people just don't know. So that's what all this does. So that's what's so powerful about it. So gosh, there's so much more. I mean, we've shared a lot in these last 50 minutes, but there's so much more details of stuff that you could that once you know, you can use, and it's so successful for you. It's incredible. $199. Is there a code to get the discount? Nope, it's just set up that way. Thanks for asking, Laura. But it's set up that way when you ring out at the website. And so yeah, you don't even have to worry about a code, because I kind of hate that. Yeah, I know. You're welcome, because I hate that too. I'm serious. Like, I get so excited thinking about how much you're going to learn about how to have the best sale ever, in two ways, because now we know how to do it with that, and then we'll also be doing it with now we know how to do it through the killer clearance sales secrets, and then adding on to that the COVID things. It makes it so powerful. Alrighty. So and it's a digital product that you receive immediately. You get it right away. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask Ann or Claire at clientcare@retailmavens.com. Go ahead and go right there. And yeah, they'd be happy to help you. Any questions at all? So let me go through a couple of questions I have. So if any of you have questions, please put them in. Please put them in there right now. And let me go over a couple of questions we have, and then I'm going to bring on our special guest. Okay, so Amy sent this to me ahead of time. She said, well, technically we have quite a bit of old inventory at the moment, because, right, her sales have been off. Most of it is good inventory. And so much of it is our never out of items, meaning that we would want to reorder as much of it for the holidays. So we can't really afford to clearance it out just to reorder it in a couple months. And so what I would say to Amy is that, right, she's absolutely right about this. And this is when I talk to you about how you'll probably have less merchandise to mark down, because you're not going to mark down, you're never out of items. The one thing I want to make sure that I share with you all, though, is to make sure that you know that this is your opportunity to get rid of sale merchandise, right? And so make sure that you've really looked at your never out of, like, how much did you sell last year of these never out of items? And then to look at the quantity that you have right now, and make sure that that inventory is balanced, right? Because I want you to have enough to last through Christmas, but make sure that you're really looking at inventory balancing and how much to bring in. If you have a question about it, don't hesitate to post it in our Facebook group. I'd love you to post it in our Facebook group so that everybody could see the answer to it. Claire, can you post that? Can you post the link to our Facebook group so we can answer that question? Alrighty. So another one. So this was actually from Amy also, and I thought this was a great one, so I wanted to make sure I addressed it with all of you. I already know that I don't want to have our full normal Saks, because I have strong concerns about the negative publicity of holding a Saks right now. She says, I follow your rule of if they don't ask if you're going out of business, you're not doing it right, because that's true. But right now, that is absolutely not the impression she wants people to have, with so many businesses actually going out of business right now. You guys, that's so true. And she's afraid that if they see clearance sale, they will automatically assume we're going out of business. And I will tell you guys that it is true that there's going to be even more businesses that have gone that will be going out of business. Like, for sure, we know that to be true before the year end. They're predicting that more small businesses will close this year than ever before. But what I want you to know is that I have done this for a very long time, and I've done going out of business sales, right? And I'm telling you for sure that a going out of business sale sign is completely different than a semi-annual clearance sign. It's completely different. And also remembering that we talked about how the merchandising should be different. So like in merchandising, we talk about how when you walk in the store should kind of look like a mess. I mean, it should. And that you should have all the sales stuff right away so people see it. But that's specifically what we talked about in the merchandising section of not doing that, of not having it look like that. And so that's the thing about it is, and for what I know of, for a lot of you, in fact, there was someone else who sent in a question that said that they didn't want to mark down their inventory because they felt like it was merchandise that they'd reorder. And then she said, but then I've had it since last summer anyway. I've had all this stuff for over a year already. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to get the cash out of that inventory so that you can spend it on other things. So you can keep that cycle of retail, that circle of retail moving. You owe it to yourself to do that, because I don't want you to go out of business. You deserve to thrive during this time. Gosh, if any of you need help, like with your open to buy or any of that, please just reach out, because that's exactly why we're here. We can help you with all that and do a financial analysis for you, whatever it takes. But I'll tell you that you owe it to yourself to turn that inventory into cash. And so we've talked about what inventory not to, and we've gone through all of that. But I want you to know that you don't have to worry about people thinking you're going out of business. You don't have to worry about it. All right, the last question that I got ahead of time, and I'd love to see if there's any more questions you guys have, is that we're in Austin, Texas, and have very little store traffic. I'm not sure a sale would change that, since we see a direct line with the number of cases in our store traffic. I get it. And I saw the number of you were concerned about this. I feel that I should wait, but I also feel we definitely have the sale shoppers coming in and leaving. And so Caitlin said she's on the fence and she's holding off until they ease restrictions. I can't encourage you enough. I know that makes sense, like that sounds logical, but it's literally one of the biggest mistakes you can make, because the fact is the only thing that's certain at this time is the uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen next. So regardless of what your cases are right now, if you're comfortable being open, please hear me. If you're not comfortable being open, no worries. Yeah, no worries at all. But if you're comfortable being open, then you should go forward with your plans and continue to be open, right? And then continue to offer the sale to them. Give those sale customers what they want. They want to shop right now on sale. Announcing the sale increases your traffic, and you can do it safely. You can do it safely. And perfect timing. Cadence is right here. Cadence, I'd love to have you. Let me unmute you, Cadence, because I would so appreciate it if you would share your story of what just happened to you just last weekend with your sale.
All right, let's see. Oh, so I'm just talking. You're not seeing me, right?
I am not seeing you.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Just didn't know if I should keep pushing buttons. Okay. So we did.
Do you want us to, wait, Cadence, just one quick second. Do you want us to see you? Are you at a computer where you have a camera? Because we'd love to see.
Yeah.
Oh, please, we'll add yourself.
Okay, so let's see. It says unable because you've stopped video. But
oh, so sorry. Let me fix that right.
All right.
I can fix that right here. Allow. Here, I can make you the host. And
that's okay. I can talk without seeing myself.
All right. Well, I'll just keep playing with this while you're doing it. How's that?
So I've been asking Kathy for a couple weeks now what my SAC should be. If I play by my rules of everything that I got before the last SACs, that was about half my inventory. That's a lot, obviously. Kathy did not tell me to put half my inventory in the sale, but I decided to go ahead and do it anyway because I'm just really tired of looking at it. And I have some new stuff that I want to buy, and some of it's already on order. So we quickly put the whole store on, I mean, not the whole store, half the store, and moved it over there, merchandised it, did all that. I wondered if anybody would come. Even before our Facebook Live, I did announce it, and we did, what it has really helped is we're open by appointments, and now almost all our appointment slots are full, when last week we hardly had any. So on Friday, we sold $1,000. That's without the Facebook Live. That's just by announcing that we had the sale. And I did mark the things down online as well so that they synced up. Though not everything I have on sale. I didn't add anything new to the website that wasn't already there. I just marked those things that were on the website down. And then then I did a Facebook Live on Saturday. We do them every Saturday and Tuesday at 1. And for an hour, I talked about just that one section. And by the time all those orders came in and over the next, through Sunday, watching that was another 2,000. So when I actually look at what I did the same weekend last year, and it's all at 25%. I mean, I have some things that are marked lower, but that really wasn't what anybody was buying because that actually wasn't really what we were showing them. And so I was really only $400 down from me doing it my traditional way.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, and then today Kit just did another one on another section, and I've got it's a smaller list because it's Tuesday, but I have another list of things that people just bought off of there also.
That's so great. Cadence, so now you should be able to turn on your video there you go. So we had a question from, no, thanks, I appreciate it. So we had so Susan asked, how long did it take to invoice after all those sales?
So good question. So one of the things that we're doing, what we're careful to say in there is to say, this time we're going to go, if anybody does happen to go online and buy it, we're going to go there first, and then we're going to go through the comments on Facebook. So I did make clear about that. So, but because a lot of the items were in there already, it was a lot easier. So even if they weren't up there for people to see, but they could, my system knew they were there. My Shopify system knew they were there. That took, it took a lot less. So how long did it take? I wasn't up as long as I thought I would be, you know, maybe about 3-4 hours, you know, that day, and including some of that time on Sunday, all the time while I'm also watching a movie. I mean, what else am I going to do? I never just do one thing at a time.
Right. Sure, yeah, that's an excellent point. And the one thing, Susan, that I'd love to point out about that is that so many people ask with these Facebook Lives how long it takes to handle everything. And that is part of the reason why something like Comments Sold works. That's the reason why they exist. However, the thing I'll tell you is that you have to think about how long would it take you to process $3,000 to $4,000 worth of sales anyway? Like, that's the whole thing. And
we are also open only by appointment, only with your mask. I mean, so most of those sales were through the Facebook Live, and then people watching it again. Not really coming in.
Because, so that's the other part, is that her door is literally locked. They literally only allow 2 people in the store at a time. And so people were waiting, and but if you make an appointment, then you get to zoom to the front. It's like having a fast pass at Disneyland. You get to zoom to the front and go in first. And so, I mean, think about that, you guys. Her store is, you know, she's not operating at full capacity, and she only did $400 less in business than she did last year. It's kind of crazy. Tammy asks, she says, I'm a newer shop and smaller. Is this all still doable for me? What do you say, Candace? Cadence, good Lord.
Oh yeah, sure, why not? Now, one question I still have is, like, in 2 weeks, will I reduce it? I don't know, you know, we'll see how it's going. But, or if my state shuts down, that was another question, big thing looming over me. But I had to do something exciting in this store.
Well, and she's been doing a ton of Facebook Lives, and so she was just sick of picking up this Jalisco glass and showing it, or this glass, and just showing it over and over again, you know? So, well, and how many square feet is your store?
My store is 2,000, but really the part that has most of the merchandise, I mean, about 1,000 of it is classroom and office and stuff. So it's really about 1,000. So that's even less than Andrea's. That's the merchandise.
Right. Well, and the one thing I totally forgot to mention to you guys, I can't believe I forgot to mention this when I was talking to you about the semi-annual clearance sale, about the clearance sale product, is that you guys, with that is included a free coaching call. Because the reason, I cannot believe I forgot to mention that, because of how there are certain things that are specific to different people. So depending on what's going on in your area. So like this worked fabulous for Cadence, but then we had another client this morning that we were talking to, and her downtown, she's in a downtown that has a pretty major clearance sale every year. And so what she did is she just put out her sale merchandise. She decided not to go quite as crazy as Cadence did. And so she put out less merchandise, but she put it out just for the 2 days of the sale. And some of the items were marked down already. And what we came up with her specifically is to do buy 3 items, get the 4th free. Rather than marking everything down another time, we decided to do that because we knew we'd have all these people there. And so the strategy was, how can we get all those people there to buy the most popular, and always doing a buy something, get something, you know, buy 3, get the 4th free. Something like that encourages higher sales because you're selling more items per sale. And so so that's what we encouraged her to do. And she did in, what was it? She did it in less than, I just wrote it down where it was. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, she did almost 5,000. She moved actually almost 5% of her inventory in 2 days, and did almost $5,000 in business. Over 5,000, no, just about $5,000 in business. So yeah, it was crazy. So that's what I'm saying, because that specific approach is what she needed to do based on what was specifically going on for her. So know that when you buy that product, that you also get a call. You'll get it in the emails following up. You'll get the email telling you so you can ask any other questions. Alrighty. So Claire said we have a couple of other questions. So do we have new dates to recommend or the same as old times? So I'm not clear exactly what that question is. So so if you could restate that, I'd appreciate it. Do you use, Cadence, do you use Facebook Shop with your Shopify? You don't yet, I don't think, do you? Oops, you're muted. Hold on, let me unmute you. Go ahead.
I do link, it is synced up, but we don't, but that really wasn't part of what we were doing there.
Gotcha. Right, so Kate was mentioning we did have very specific dates for the semi-annual clearance sale. Right, that is true, because what we know is that there's 2 times people love to shop. One is right after Christmas and the other time is during the summer. And so we've certainly sort of changed that out. Like we've had everybody start their sales later this year, and most people are gonna run them through Labor Day, whereas usually most people are full on into fall by Labor Day, but not anymore. So thanks, Kate, for asking that question, because yeah, we're certainly doing it. We're certainly doing it later. Yeah, that's for sure. Susan wants to know what kind of shop you have.
Oh, I just answered. It's a yarn shop, mostly knitting and gifts.
Exactly. Alrighty, so let's see. There was another question to answer here. So Michelle was asking thoughts on dollar off or percentage off. And so for sure, so listen, flat out, the Killer Clearance Sale tells you exactly the steps to take for it to run this semi-annual clearance sale that's so effective. I can tell you that in general, though, if you're just doing a flash sale for the weekend, what works out really great for a couple days is just doing a dollar amount off, not doing a percentage off. Like it's much more effective to say, come in and get $10 off every top you buy, or to do buy one, buy with every bottom you buy, you get a top for $20 off, or with every dress you buy, you get a necklace for whatever off. Getting people to buy more than one is really successful. Plus another thing, it works really well. So that's your answer there, Michelle. What was the other question I was going to ask you about that? So Cadence, Cadence, would you share just a little bit for some of those people who are nervous with Facebook Lives? How is it that you get over your anxiety about it? You know what I mean?
It's the only way anybody's going to see what's in my store.
Flat out.
Get over it, because it's like, I got tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars of stuff out there. And my anxiety, is greater over how am I going to sell that than it is over being on camera. I mess up. But I think that I tell stories, I stumble, but they don't care. It is their entertainment. People set their timer to watch us on Saturday and Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. It's just, yeah. And then they reply and it's there and you can just kind of chat back to them. And
right.
Yeah, I was much more anxious about I'm not a ham. I'm generally an introvert, but I was much more anxious about not selling my inventory. Oh, and Kate asked me, my store is in South Georgia, just right close to the Florida line. So we're a hot spot.
Yes, you are. Laura said that IG is really bigger than Facebook here. She's in Europe. So hi, Laura, how are you? Good to see you. So we use that for our lives. And so, yes. And so, but it's just that the thing about Facebook, I guarantee, really, Laura, I would really encourage you to try some Facebook Lives, because you can get a different customer. And the thing is that it's allows you to be more interactive than it does in IG. That's the problem with IG Lives. So it's completely different from that perspective. And the other thing I would tell you is don't just do it once and declare it that it's not working for you. The other client that I shared with you who made that transition, she did 10 Facebook Lives, and I bet 8 of them were complete failures, and only 2 worked a little bit before all of a sudden it started to work. So for sure, try it. I know I also saw one other person who said something about, oh, Kate said that so many people were afraid last year that she was closing. So she made a note not to use the word clearance this year. That's the huge mistake. It's so critical. The naming of your sale is so critical because sales mean nothing anymore unless, and so this, you want your pinkies to know that this is a big, serious sale. You've got to use the word clearance in it. You've got to use your word. Were you nervous about that at all, Cadence? Were you nervous about using the word sale? You calling it a clearance sale, I mean to say?
No, because our customers know that we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's, yeah, exactly. That your people do, people do get trained in a good way. They get trained, right? Like, would you say that, so what I find people often worry about is that, so do you find that people hold off buying things because they're waiting for the sale to start?
No, because they're different people.
That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
Exactly the point. Don, so what if it's not a flash sale? I'm not understanding that question. A flash sale is when you just do something for the weekend, as if you're down in tableware and this is the only class that you're down in, so you do a sale over the weekend or something. That's the kind of thing that you do. That's what a flash sale, that's what I mean by a flash sale. It's a very short time period, whereas a semi-annual clearance sale goes on for weeks, goes on for quite a while, and it follows this very specific protocol. So. All right, you guys, listen, I'm so grateful. Are there any other questions? Oh, you're so welcome, Sue. Laura says, but she'll try to swipe up with the link as we have more than 10K subs. Yeah, exactly. So that's the point, is that Laura, if you have more than 10K, people will swipe up from Instagram and just go to Facebook right away. That's exactly what they'll do. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Kate. So Kate said, we get so many people coming in saying, are you closing? Maybe I'll say clearance sale with the funny little tag, but how no, we're not closing, because it's like what you said, Cadence, when you wanted to mark down all that stuff and I told you that you shouldn't, and you're like, I'm tired of looking at it. And you're like, it'll be all new stuff for my people. And so they'll be all excited about it too. And so that's exactly, don't you think that's what she should just add to her tagline? Yeah, exactly. So, all right, you guys, listen, thank you so very much. And let me see here. Oh, great, Kate. I'm so glad for you. I'm so glad. You guys, listen, thanks again so very much. And what I want you to know is, so go check out killerclearancesale.com. Take a look at the product. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot it to us, because we're happy to answer. But it really makes such a big difference. And if you have any other questions, just ask. I tell you, my heart is to continue to help you turn all these obstacles into an opportunity, so that you can make the money that you deserve to, and thrive, and change your life and change your family's life and your community's life, because what you do is so important. What you do is so important. All right, you guys, see you later. Happy retailing.